What if Nikon is about to drop a camera that blends the timeless soul of a classic film camera with the guts of a 2026 flagship? The rumor mill for a potential Nikon ZF Mark II is buzzing, and it suggests Nikon isn't just planning a successor, they might be creating a new legend. But how much of it is hype? And what's actually plausible? The internet's crystal ball seems to point toward a September 2026 release, but it's important to remember this is just a prediction, not a confirmed leak from Nikon. In fact, as of right now, Nikon has made no official announcement about a ZF Mark II, so everything we're about to discuss is based on the rumors, predictions, and wishful thinking circulating online. So, let's try to separate the plausible from the pipe dreams and break down what could be Nikon's next retro masterpiece. The heart of the beast, a sensor and processor. At the core of any great camera are its sensor and processor, and this is where the rumors get really exciting. The biggest piece of speculation is that a ZF Mark II could inherit the 24.5 megapixel partially stacked CMOS sensor from the fantastic Z6 Mark III. Now, 24.5 megapixels might not sound like a headline-grabbing number, but it's a strategic choice. This would be a move that prioritizes the quality of each pixel over the sheer quantity, focusing on incredible low-light performance and dynamic range. Partially stacked is the key phrase here. A fully stacked sensor, like in the flagship Z8 and Z9, is like a data superhighway but costs a fortune. The Z6 III introduced a brilliant compromise, a partially stacked sensor. This design adds high-speed lanes to the sensor, dramatically boosting readout speeds compared to the conventional sensor in the original ZF. For a hybrid shooter, this means cleaner, faster performance without the flagship price. But a sensor is only half the story. The other half is the processor, and this is where ZF Mark II is rumored to take a huge leap. The prediction is that it could be one of the first cameras to feature Nikon's next-generation XP8 processor. Rumor sites suggest the XP8 might debut in a future Z9 Mark II in early 2026. If Nikon follows its usual pattern, this powerful new chip could then trickle down to other high-end models, like a ZF Mark II, later that year. Keep in mind, this is all just a theory, but if it holds true, we could see a massive boost in processing power, impacting everything from autofocus to video. The brains of the operation, next-gen AI autofocus. This is where that rumored XP8 processor would really get to work. The original ZF has a very capable autofocus system, borrowing heavily from the Z8 and Z9. But the rumor mill suggests a ZF Mark II could push into a whole new territory with a next-gen, AI-powered autofocus system. Some of the talk online suggests an AF system that could even surpass the Z6 Mark III. We're talking about more advanced deep learning algorithms, with some hoping for more specific modes like a dedicated bird mode. For wildlife photographers, that would be a dream, allowing the camera to intelligently track a bird's eye through clutter. There's also speculation about a major improvement in low-light AF, with some suggesting it could focus in near total darkness, down to an incredible -10 eV, just like the Z6 III. That would be a massive advantage for anyone shooting in dimly lit venues. The AI would also likely govern the 3D tracking, making it stickier and more predictive. Of course, these are unconfirmed, wishlist-style features, but if they came true, a ZF Mark II wouldn't just be a pretty face, it would be a razor-sharp predator. For the filmmakers, a video powerhouse. The original ZF is a solid video camera, but the ZF Mark II is being talked about as a true hybrid powerhouse. The most ambitious rumors and honestly, the most speculative point to internal 6K RAW video at up to 60 frames per second. This is a spec you'd typically find on a dedicated cinema camera, not a retro mirrorless body. Shooting in 6K RAW offers incredible flexibility in post-production, letting you reframe shots without losing quality. The whispers don't stop there. Some rumors also point to 4K 120p and Full HD at 4OP for stunning slow motion. These are the kinds of features that make moments feel more graceful and cinematic. Recording these high-quality files internally, without an external recorder, would be a huge workflow improvement. Again, these are the most far-fetched of the rumors, but if even some of them pan out, a ZF Mark II would be one of the most versatile video cameras out there. Alright, we're halfway through the rumored specs, and it's already sounding like a beast of a camera. So far, what's the one feature that has you the most excited? Is it the potential of a partially stacked sensor, the promise of an Expeed 8 processor, or those wild video specs? Drop a comment below. And if you want to stay on top of all the latest rumors for the ZF Mark II and other cameras, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Professional upgrades, a design and ergonomics own thing is almost certain. Nikon isn't going to mess with the design. A ZF Mark II is expected to keep the beloved retro body and its tactile, analog dials. That hands-on experience is the soul of the ZF line. However, we are expecting some serious upgrades based on user feedback. A big one that people are hoping for is a move to better dual card slots. The original ZF has one fast SD card slot and one much slower micro slot, a point of frustration for pros. The rumor is that the ZF Mark II will feature either dual high-speed SD card slots or maybe a CUF Express and SD card combo. Either would be a huge upgrade for speed and reliable backup. Another big upgrade is rumored for the electronic viewfinder. While the original ZF CVF is good, the Mark II is predicted to get a stunning 5.76 million OLED panel, similar to the one in the Z6 III. This would be a massive jump in resolution. Paired with a faster sensor, it could also enable blackout-free shooting like the Z8 and Z9. For anyone shooting action, seeing an uninterrupted view while firing off a burst is a game-changer. These aren't just minor tweaks, they're upgrades that would elevate the camera into a truly professional tool. The big question is price and market strategy. So, with all these incredible, though highly speculative, upgrades, what would this camera cost? This is where the rumored strategy gets interesting. Some rumor sites are predicting a launch price around $2,699 for the body. That's a big jump from the original ZF's $1,999 launch price. The theory is that Nikon wouldn't position a ZF Mark II as a direct successor, but as a premium, retro alternative to the Z6 Mark III, which launched at $2,496. But here's the twist nobody saw coming, a rumor that Nikon might keep the original ZF in production at a reduced price, maybe around $1,599. If true, this would be a brilliant move, creating a two-tier retro lineup. The original ZF would be a great entry point for those who want the style without the cutting-edge specs. The ZF Mark II would then serve the pros and high-end enthusiasts who want it all, modern performance in a classic package. This strategy would let Nikon compete on multiple fronts. The ZF Mark II would go head-to-head with other premium cameras, offering a unique mix of style and power. It would be for the photographer who respects a Z6 III or a Z8 but wants a more emotional, hands-on connection with their camera. This suggests Nikon believes the retro market isn't a niche anymore, but a major force in the industry. So, what are we left with? A camera that's rumored to have the soul of a classic with the engine of a flagship. We're talking a potential 24.5 MP partially stacked sensor, and next-generation Expeed 8 processor, and an AI-driven autofocus system that could be faster and smarter than ever. Then there are the cinema-grade video specs, like 6K internal RAW, and crucial pro upgrades like dual high-speed card slots, all wrapped in that iconic design. Of course, this all comes at a rumored premium, but with a clever market strategy that could make the ZF line more accessible than ever. It seems like Nikon might be betting big that photographers are choosing cameras based not just on specs, but on style, feel, and the pure joy of creating. The real question is, have they hit the mark? Based on these rumors, is the ZF Mark II an instant buy for you, or is there something else you'd need to see? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.